Hi again, it's Howard Baxton here. To this point, if you've gotten this far, we've talked about all of the ways to set up examined lines and to animate avatars, whether it be singles, couples, multiple couples, or all sitters. So, to this point, I think there's some more things that we really need to cover and talk about because I haven't talked about them yet. We'll kind of get back and try and put everything back together for you, or together in a meaningful way that we haven't talked about. One of the first things I want to talk about is the admin HUD. What is the admin HUD? How does it work? Uh, when is it useful? All that stuff. And this is the admin HUD up here that I'm looking at. You see the nPose admin HUD. There's an X in the corner, which will remove it. There is a button to start the adjusters, another to stop the adjusters, to mute the adjusters so that they don't um, talk to you in local chat when moved, and one to unmute the adjusters. We can also sync animations, and we can also dump poses. Sync animations is just that. It tries to sync the sitters so that their animations are in time together. Dump poses is a way to actually just dump all of the poses for all of the sitters in order. And we can do all of that from this admin pose, or admin HUD, or we can actually go to the menu and go to utilities and admin and do the adjust, do the pose dump, stop it, and stop adjusters. We don't have a way to mute and unmute the adjusters in the menu here. I'm sure that can be arranged, but it's just not done. So, with all that said and done, there's two ways to remove the adjuster. You can go to the adjusters submenu there, the admin adjuster HUD, or admin HUD, excuse me, the admin HUD button, and where we did the attach, and we can also detach. The other way to do it is to click the X up here, and it will detach. One of the what this is really good for, and what it was designed to handle, is if you've got all of these set cards in here, and you've got dozens of hundreds and thousands of animations, and you've got hundreds and hundreds of set note cards in here. When you go to adjust something, you know it's going to take a long time, probably 5 minutes in some cases, 10 minutes in others, depending on the amount of lag in the sim and depending on your network connection and just how many things that are in contents of this thing. To slow down populating this edit window. So anytime you would go to change one of these animations for whatever reason, add a space here, take it away, whatever you're doing, and save, takes a long time. But also it takes all of these functions of the admin menu away from you so that you don't have to traverse the menu to get to the admin submenu and click a menu button and then go back and say, like, change poses, for instance. You don't have to do that. You've got control of the those functions up here in the admin HUD all the time. when you're at, let's try this. Let's start adjusters and see what's going on. We can do that from here. We can stop adjusters. Um, we can do a pose dump. This works really good when you've got adjusters muted because they're not going to chat out every time you turn around, but they are going to pose dump. And you see seat number 1, seat number 2, seat number 3, seat number 4, all of the exam lines for that, which note card each one of these guys is running, and they're not getting in your way. So if you got hundreds and hundreds of note cards and you want to adjust multiple ones at once, you can go and res your adjusters. You can edit these guys and move them around wherever you want to do. All as you go. You don't get all of this stuff in here at once. So if I mute these adjusters, and while I've got the edit window open, you can't click it. What you can do is you can right click where you want to touch, then go more, and then touch it. And it will mute the adjusters. So now if we go and edit an adjuster and drop it, we don't get that local chat. Okay, so you could, in effect, adjust all of these guys just the way you want them. And even this one. And then you can do the pose dump. And you get your seat number 1, seat number 2, seat number 3, seat number 4 all at once. Okay, so if you go to the next pose, which say is a couple, oh, my menu timed out. Let me touch that again, couple. Oh, and since I'm not sitting, can't do anything. But now I can go to couple, and I can go C2. Now I can go ahead and adjust these. I don't get the noise down there. I want to move a little closer to her. I want her close to me on this one, so let her sit on my fingers. And then I can also pose dump this. Oops, sorry. I gotta pose dump this. Now what you see is I've got my last pose dump, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's running the default card. And now I've got set couples here. I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and these guys are running the default, but these two are running the set couples. So now I've got, without any interference between, because those guys are running, I've got this pose card and this pose card all in order, and I can go ahead and adjust 3 or 4 more and get away with it. And then when I'm all done adjusting with all of those, I can go back to my local chat and get what I need for each one of those note cards and save them all at one time. So it's meant to be a bit easier. There's also another thing that's interesting. I've kind of not had good luck with this lately, but it might just be me. I can come up here and get all of these guys and copy the meditation note card, and I'm going to go ahead and work on the meditation note card. But if I've got 3 or 4 more, I can open this note card, and since I'm going to go down here and do the set couples sit 2, I can also open this note card. Now I've got them open, they're down here. I can close the edit window, and I can go ahead and paste those in and clean it up like we normally do. And then I can go get these, which were seat 1 and seat 2 here, because I've already got the default code. This is in sit 2. for set couple sit 2, set couple sit 2. So I can go ahead and copy those, and I can paste them into this note card. And notice I haven't saved either one of these yet, but you can do this with dozens. You get them all in there, and you can just go ahead and save them. And when it's saved, it'll close. You can save this one, save it, it'll close. Everything's closed and done. All of those changes will be saved. So if I were to say go to sit 1, you say move, I go to sit 2, they've moved a little bit, and I don't know if we can do the default without standing and resitting. So if we stand, everybody goes back to their default. We've actually saved all those note cards, and that's a shortcut. And sometimes it doesn't work for me, so just be aware of that. It used to work lots all the time, but now that we're up in the cloud, I'm not so sure it works. The alternative of that is to save each note card individually. Put this up so that we have to save it. And you see I can't edit now. You have to wait for this thing to refresh, and then I can open the next one. That's the alternative. You have to wait for it this to refresh. And if you've got hundreds of note cards in here, that can take 5-10 minutes. So this is meant as a way to speed things up and go from there. So that's what it is about the admin HUD and how it works. We can stop adjust from here, or if your menu's timed out, all of that, and you can remove it from there. So it's all nice and kind of handy. It's meant for those larger builds that have hundreds of note cards and thousands of animations in them. It's meant to help out those big crazy builders that like to go nuts with all this stuff. At any rate, that's my spiel on the admin HUD. Next, I'd like to talk about how to comment a note card. Let me open up this which one was that? Set couples sit 2. That was this one. If we were to go in here again and grab all of these, copy them, paste them in here, we see we have all this excess bit in here, or all these extra lines. What's going to happen when nPose runs this is that the note card reader script is going to read the note card, save it in its cache, and it will take it line by line, okay, and send it to the core for processing. Okay, and it's going to send this line, it's going to send this line, it's going to send this line, and it's going to send this line, this blank line, and it's going to send this line. What happens is nPose has to go through each one of these lines, and it's going to look for a keyword. And this is a keyword that it triggers on. This is not a keyword that it triggers on. This is not a keyword that it triggers on because it's not all caps. This empty line is not a line that has anything that nPose is going to key on. And the exam, this one is a key line. So it has to sort through all of these lines to get to the ones that it wants to key on, and then it runs. It takes script time. It takes um, a bit more load because now we're not only sending 2 lines that are valid, but we're sending an extra 3 lines that nPose has to work on. So actually, I kind of probably lied to you. This empty line, um, there's a way that we can make comments actually start with a pound. So if we went down here, put another line in and said pound, uh, this is a comment line. This line would not be sent back from the note card reader to the core for processing. And I believe as well, it's going to ignore these blank lines as well. They're actually caught in the note card reader and removed. So the note card reader has to deal with them once when it's reading this note card. And before it saves this note card contents into its cache, it will remove this line and the empty lines. So they will not be part of the card and they will not get sent and processed. However, this line and this line will be delivered to the core and the core has to process it. So not only does the note card reader have to save those lines in its memory, which is going to take up space that we might need if we're running hundreds and hundreds of note cards, but it also causes the core to do some extra work. So it is best either to put the pound sign in front of each one of these lines so they're ignored, or remove them completely. One or the other to lighten the load on both the note card reader script and core processing time. We cannot, in the end here, put a pound sign and expect it to be another comment. It won't work. We deal with a line at a time. So if you want to put comments in, you have to put them in empty space or in their own line, like this one is. I mean, we could put it up here like this, but we can't put it at the end of a line as part of the line. That line must be pure and all of that neat stuff. Okay, I hope that helps with comments. You can put all the comments in there you want, and they will be for you. But preempt or use the pound sign in front of your line, and that's set up and used, and is actually filtered out in the note card reader, so that it's not part of that line. Oh, there's actually one more thing that I did want to bring up about the admin HUD. It's been brought to my attention that the admin HUD isn't adjusting it, or it isn't working, and it doesn't attach, and we can't get it to work. So if I touched here and went to utilities, admin HUD, and attach, nothing happens. That's because that admin HUD is considered to be a prop, and it's set up just exactly like a prop. nPose uses this prop plugin to communicate with all of the props. So we have to include that prop plugin in our build to communicate with any of the props. So once that's there and we touch and we go back to the utilities, the admin and admin HUD and attach, we see we get this permissions to attach. nPose admin HUD, which is this prop, is resed out here somewhere, and I can't tell you where. I can't even see it. And it wants to attach to your avatar. Is this okay? You can say yes or no, and I'm going to say yes, and all of a sudden it appears. So that's how this is actually a temp attach type HUD, so it doesn't go into your inventory, doesn't go into anywhere else. And we'll learn about temp attach props as well coming up in a couple more videos sooner or later here, real soon. At any rate, I wanted to clear that up as well, and I forgot to talk about it while we were talking about the HUD. This is a temp attach HUD, and we do need this prop plugin in here, and I believe it's not in here. It is actually in here, and actually that's the wrong one. I probably should update that. But the prop plugin must be in here, and it also must be in the main build as well. So those two scripts talk to each other. So when I push a start button here, it goes, that click from the HUD goes to the prop plugin, and that prop plugin there communicates with this prop plugin in the main couch or the main build, and sends a command out to the core, or actually in this case it would be the slave script, to start adjusting, and it would res the adjusters. The slave script is the one that reses the adjusters. Okay, and I think that should take care of the HUD. That was the last thing I wanted to suggest. With that all done, and we're at 20 minutes or 21 minutes in this video, I better stop and talk about something different in another video.